Hi, I'm Clayton Nerve, known to the internet as Kalabajui. You may remember me from such Multiplaying podcast bumpers as episode 112. I'd like to speak seriously for a moment, if you don't mind. Fans of my YouTube channel will likely have noticed that my wife, Tina, features prominently in a number of my series. You may also have noticed that those episodes are punctuated by the occasional, huh? Followed by me repeating myself. This is due to the fact that she is profoundly deaf and wears hearing aids to compensate. The fact of the matter is that she's been wearing the same analog hearing aids for 18 years. Advances in digital sound processing have propelled hearing aid technology quite a long way in that time, but due to their high cost and our low income, we don't have the resources to bring her up to date. This is where you come in. We've launched an ongoing GoFundMe campaign and have been asking friends, family, and the internet at large to pitch in any small way they can. Our goal might seem ambitious. $5,000 is a relatively large amount of money in our experience, but it's just enough to cover GoFundMe's cut and a pair of mid-range digital hearing aids along with other associated costs. The campaign can't be searched for yet on the site until we reach a certain level of backing, but you can link directly to it via gofundme.com/Q9A4HK. That's gofundme.com/Q9A4HK. Even if you can't help monetarily, feel free to share with friends, family, and your own social media connections. I thank you for your time, and we now return you to your regularly scheduled Multiplaying.
This is Multiplaying episode 116, recorded Friday the 3rd of April, 2015.
Cat Context is about three friends getting together twice a month to talk about MMOs, RPGs, nerd culture, and really good virtual hats.
Cat Context is my bi-weekly attempt to find a subject that Arrow is not randomly an expert at, and to instead make fun of Leora for being so wrong all the time. Also, games and movies and stuff.
Cat Context is about trying to be hilarious in 10 seconds or less. Or is it fewer? I think it's fewer. Fuck, I'm out of time.
Cat Context. Games, movies, and smart talk twice a month.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
Yes, welcome back to Multiplaying, everyone. This is 116, and tonight on the show we have me, Steve, drinking the Di Serono as per usual. With me is Jason.
Hello, yes.
What you drinking?
I'm drinking a Wells banana bread beer. It's pretty tasty, yeah.
Banana bread.
Yeah, I'm not always in the shitter with beer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I buy his beer for him.
Yeah. And it's good.
Can you taste the banana?
Yeah, and it's really a good beer.
Really, man, I like banana.
It's one of those beers that it has a definite banana flavor to it, but there's no sweetness to it. So, and that's how I don't like any sweetness to my beer. So for me, it's
I'm sweet enough.
He sure is.
Yeah. It's actually like tempting for me to try though, because I really like banana.
Yeah,
but,
you won't like it.
I won't, but it's
probably not. But it's worth a try.
I want to try it and just go. Yeah, it still sucks too. My mouth does not like this.
We'll find something else your mouth will like.
It's so hot.
As long as there's good food around here. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, the food. Alongside Jason is Shannon.
Howdy doody. I have this evening, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I have a Great Lakes Brewing Company, Edmund Fitzgerald, and it is a handcrafted porter out of Cleveland, Ohio, and it is probably my favorite beer.
Well, does it taste like the ship?
Yes.
Or does it taste like a wreck?
It just tastes like licking the barnacle side of that wreck.
Wow. And that voice you heard in the background, first time on the Multiplaying podcast, guest but not a stranger to podcasting, is Belghast.
Hey, folks. And tonight I have the hipster drink. I am drinking a Ace hard cider, the pear-flavored one. So it is the most hipsterish drink I could possibly drink. So
that is awesome. Are you wearing a hat, too?
A fedora?
No, and actually shaved off a lot of my beard, so I don't have the whole unkempt look anymore. But
you're like totally halfway phoning in this hipster thing, but your drink is pretty good.
It is. Like, we have a place around here, actually literally around the corner from our house, that has a wall of singles, and you can, make your own 6-pack. And I tried this one time when we were there, and I really liked it. I mean, I like the pear added to the hard cider. So I'm a big fan of pears.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be good.
I went to the local Kroger today and bought some pears. It was... I look forward to eating those.
That's a small world.
Just squeeze them into a bottle and you're good.
So close. I'm so close. For those of you who don't know who Belghast is, you've probably seen the hashtag Bell Effect on Twitter. How did this get started, by the way, the Bell Effect?
Honestly, I think it's Sig is the one who started Sigtrick, because he was mentioning the recent influx of people coming to Final Fantasy, and he said that's the game that the Bell Effect is happening in, and he hashtagged it, and then it just kind of picked up from there.
I don't think, did he mean it as a compliment?
No, I don't think he meant it as a compliment.
I don't think so either.
I was not included in that message.
And and I think it's more just because I follow him on Twitter too, and I think he's very into Tesso. So I think, so he probably was just any other game. But yeah, good for you.
Yeah. I've seen it hashtagged around, so around that trending. Twitterverse. Yeah,
I am trying to stop it whenever I can, but yeah, it's crazy.
It has caught on. Belghast, you also you're a blogger, you're a podcaster. Your blog is Tales of the Agronaut.
Yep, at agronaut.com, and the podcast is agrochat at agrochat.com. And also I have a little side project that I recorded an episode of today, Bellfolk Stuff, which is just me interviewing people at folks.belghast.com.
Who did you interview today?
So it's not really like a secret, but I interviewed Lior. So
cool.
She actually brought up the damn Bell Effect hashtag.
Everyone's talking
She's
about it.
Everyone's
it too. Like, the hot button,
Yeah.
The more you fight it,
right now.
Yeah, the more you fight it, the more it's never going to stop.
I know. It's like you just got to accept it, and hopefully someday it'll go away.
You can't stop the signal.
Just start merchandising it, make shirts and everything, cash in on this bitch.
Then no one will use it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've got friends that try and tell me like it's a thing, and I know it's not a thing.
I don't know, that Final Fantasy XIV, it is, it's pretty popular.
We could get right into that. I mean, that's a big reason why, I mean, for me, I have questions involved in Final Fantasy. You play it a lot.
Yeah, and actually, we were realizing the other day that this is the longest game we've played since WoW. Because at this point, we have been in since last July. So we played during the 2.0 relaunch for about 3 months. And various reasons we didn't play any longer. Mostly WildStar. Oh, actually, the ESO launch is probably what pulled us away. And then, I don't know, about July, I decided... I was thinking back of the games that me and my friends have played, and the only one I could think of that all of us left on good terms was Final Fantasy XIV. Like, we really didn't have a good reason for quitting.
Right.
So we went back, and I came back in July, and then slowly, bit by bit, people have trickled back there, and we've been playing solidly since. And, I mean, I played some World of Warcraft, but I never stopped raiding over in Final Fantasy XIV, and about once a month they roll out a new patch, and I go over there and consume the content, and slowly working my way through. I've now leveled one of every role, and I'm starting down the crafting black hole.
So, I mean, what is it about the game that's keeping you coming back, I guess? Is it just the content that they're coming out with every month, or is there something that's proven to be worth keeping a sub to that game for?
Well, there's a lot of factors there. First and foremost, when I went back, the community was just awesome. Like, I have been anti-pugging for years, mostly because, grouping with random strangers has been, akin to having a proctal exam.
Yeah.
So, And in Final Fantasy, it's like this weird thing happened where everybody's happy to be playing the game. And if you step into a group and you say, I'm new to this dungeon, people will slow down and talk you through the fights. And they have this weird little system now where if you're a brand new player, you have this leak that shows up on you for the first 30 hours. And people will just randomly be nice to these, new players. We had a couple folks in the free company just get cash dumped onto them by random strangers.
Wow.
As a kind of a welcome to the community. And now I've heard your mileage may vary based on what data center you're on. I'm on the Ether data center. And so basically when you group and you do Duty Finder, you're grouping with the entire data center. And
Duty.
I've heard... Duty.
That's a good point.
But on Primal, I've heard that folks are a lot more elitish over there, but I don't know. It's been a really cool environment to hang out in, and as the guild has grown, we just constantly have stuff to do. It seems like everybody needs something, and the game's done a really great job of social engineering players to help other players by putting in rewards for doing low-level content that are actually meaningful and useful to you. So you get, like, the currency that used by raid-ish gear. So if you get a new player in a dungeon, you get a bonus of whatever that currency is. So people actually look forward to having new players in their groups.
Oh, okay.
They're going to get whatever rewards they need faster that way.
Right, yeah.
They had implemented that before I left. I played at launch for a few months, and the game was great. I love the dungeons, and I really love the system about how you get leveled down to the dungeons. So every time you're doing, you may be doing low-level content, but it remains challenging because they keep you at a level where, all that content is going to be a bit of a challenge for you because it takes away any of your higher abilities, your hit points. It really does level you down completely, and it remains fun that way.
Yeah, and it was always a pain in the butt to run low-level content for your friends in World of Warcraft, for example, because it just meant you were going to babysit a group of lobies as you steamrolled it on your high-level character. And that's not really fun for anyone. It's entertaining to see how much you can pull and still survive, but it's not that fun.
It's not fun, yeah.
I was just going to say, they've done a really good job of keeping the content evergreen. And they keep putting in reasons for people to go do the low-level content, like the relic weapon system. They keep adding new steps to it that involve... one of the steps, for example, involves collecting these pieces that drop randomly off fates in every zone in the game. So that means there's always an influx of high-level players doing the fates, so there's never a situation like you had in Rift where the rifts in low-level zones just weren't getting done because nobody was in there.
Right.
So they've done a lot of really tricky social engineering on this content to make sure that high players are willing to go do it.
Which is pretty amazing that they've come to where they are, given that the initial launch of the game was so horrific.
It's a weird situation, because I don't know of any other game that has gotten a second life like that. And
right.
The craziest thing about it is they're releasing new content every month, basically. And they're a team of 15 developers.
Jeez. Well,
and they're also working on an expansion at the same time?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. They have the Heavensward 6 expansion coming, and I don't really know much about it other than I know that it's coming, and then there's going to be some extra classes and stuff added. But just the fact that they're a small developer and they're adding all that, I mean, what do you? I'm sure you probably followed a bit more. I guess I have two-part question with this. Are you excited about it, and what's going to be in it?
Oh, so we're absolutely pumped about it because when this game first was announced that they were going to do the Realm Reborn thing, the one class I wanted more than anything was the Dark Knight. And we were finally getting the frickin' Dark Knight. So right now I play a warrior as my main, which is the two-hander tank. And I absolutely plan on, rolling a Dark Knight on the day it comes out and pushing that up as fast as I can. But they're also adding a range DPS. and a healer. And there's not a lot of details on the healer, but it's some kind of they like heal through cards. It's called the Astrologian, and it's kind of like a fortune teller. So I don't know how that's going to play out.
Don't they play like Cards Against Humanity, and that's what like heals everyone?
Yeah, and if you turn out to be like some horrible sociopath, like your group like fail heals.
Yeah.
Miss.
Yeah. Oh, that was a horrible combination. You're out of here.
Yeah.
But the other cool thing, like, this is the thing that our free company is like really looking forward to, is supposed to, like, they have guild housing in right now, and it's prohibitively expensive, but they're adding in guild airships. I have no idea what we can do with them, but by God, we're going to build an airship.
But yeah, it kind of is astounding to me that, like, I'm very pumped that Guild Wars 2 is getting an expansion finally, even though we have no idea when it's going to be yet. But then comparing that to what's been done already with Final Fantasy XIV, it's just, they're really cranking it out, and that's really admirable.
Well, what's staggering is the expansion is launching during the first part of June, and this week we just got a patch. So they're not slowing the content for the expansion. This will probably be our last major patch before the expansion, but still, that's only a month or so until we actually get the expansion. So it's nothing like the 16-month lag that WoW had.
Yeah, or, a part of the reason why I've kind of not been playing much Guild Wars 2 recently is the fact that, yes, they've announced this expansion, and then most of the content in the game's kind of slowed down. I mean, they've done a few things here and there, but there's not been the trickle of stuff that as you would expect. So, yeah, I'm very pumped. And the fact that, I'm agreeing with you with the Dark Knight thing, because reading a little bit about the expansion coming for Final Fantasy, that's the thing that popped out to me and kind of got me anxious to maybe check out the game again. But my question to you is should I come back now or just hold off until that happens if I plan on just rolling a Dark Knight anyways?
You could do both.
So the big thing is
just because, like, I know how long you played the first time.
True.
You could get both in.
You'll burn out and then play again.
Yeah, I could see that happening totally.
Well, honestly, the biggest thing with Final Fantasy is that you don't just need to level your class, you also need to level the classes that give you cross-class abilities.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And we don't know what the cross-classes are going to be for Dark Knight, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Warrior and maybe Lancer. I don't know, that's just my theory. So
Warrior's probably a safe bet.
Yeah, Warrior is definitely going to be the thing, because it's the other two-hander. So I feel like you're gonna at least benefit from having leveled something. I don't know what level you were when you left last time.
It wasn't too far. I couldn't even tell you. It was probably 2. I think I was working on a pugilist, but I could be wrong. I thought I'm not even going to say. I don't know. It wasn't very far though.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that really has kind of sold me on the game, is the fact that I can play all these different classes but only have to worry about one character. So
I do like that. I wish more games would do that.
Like, all the resources I have can go towards this one character, and then I just keep swapping roles, because, like, I have 2 tanks, a ranged DPS, a melee DPS, and a healer. And from that, I can field anything the guild might need. And it's nice. I mean, it's like, okay, you guys need to run this. Well, what role do you need? Okay, I will swap to that role.
I like that you have one character and you still have the Holy Trinity, but you can change your character to whatever role you want. So you have versatility, but yet you still have the Holy Trinity and so you know who to rely on for what when you go into dungeons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing, like, we're doing the raiding, and man, that raiding is probably the most complicated rating I have ever seen in any game, but it also feels fair. Like, so oftentimes when you're raiding, it's cheap. Like, the mechanics are, if RNG is not on your side, you're just screwed. Like, you got one shot because the cards weren't in your favor. Whereas it's very predictable and it's very repeatable, but you have to perform at such a level to get through the content that it takes almost memorization of some of the encounters, and we've been working on turn 9 in Binding Coil of Bahamut, which is the big in-game raid. And I think we've worked on it 7 weeks, and we're only now up to the last phase.
Wow.
And by last phase, that's boss is like 40% health, and now we have to do this intricate little dance to finish DPSing down the boss. So yeah, the fights are insane. I mean, there's much more casual raid content, but the bleeding edge is insane. It was a good 6 months to a year before guilds were really clearing the very first raid that was put into the game.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that in another game. Like, wow, the day a patch comes out, like, the top guilds have cleared it.
Yeah.
And the best guilds on the servers hadn't cleared the first Binding Coil of Bahamut after 6 months. Which is just crazy to me.
Yeah. That's pretty dope. Yeah, I definitely want to check the game out again. I was a good time, so sooner or later here I'll at least by the time the patch comes out, the expansion comes out, I'll hit it again. But how about we move off of Final Fantasy and talk about some other games we've been playing? Shannon or Jason? What you guys been playing? Hit it, Shannon.
I've been playing Guild Wars 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been leveling my Necro, and so that's not really too much different from my reports from the last few weeks, because before that I was leveling a warrior, so it's pretty much the same thing. I just kind of... I actually, I think I mentioned it before where I got my tailoring up, and so that gave me a bunch of levels. This week I did some map completion with the group, and solo. Got a couple 100% in a couple zones, and I don't know, that always gives me a lot of experience, so...
Yeah, map completions can be crazy rewarding sometimes.
Yeah, and for me, it's really relaxing. It's you're exploring, you're getting some stuff done, but it's not super. It's not challenging. But some nights that's nice. You just want to come home, unwind for a while before you hit the bed, and definitely not any Binding Coil type of type of gameplay.
Yeah. Did you happen to get on April 1st?
I did.
Yeah, that was great.
I liked it. I saw some negative comments on Twitter about it, but I thought it was adorable because I have the little Asura girl, so she just was so cute.
And for people that are wondering, if you don't play Guild Wars 2, every year they tend to do something for April Fool's Day. And what I like about their April Fool's gag is that it's not very mean-spirited. It's always something that they put a good amount of effort into. I believe last year was the year that when you logged in, everyone had a bobblehead. Their heads were vastly enlarged, and anytime you made any movement, they would rock around like a bobblehead, and it was very adorable. This year was, I think, a step up from that was when you log in, everything kind of had a sepia tone filter to it, and somewhat of a film grain. And everyone's characters had their arms stretched out like they were running like an airplane. And to go along with that, I want to be the guy, or I want to meet the guy at least, who had to do the voice work for that. But
mine was a girl. But yeah,
yours was a girl. Okay, so they had a girl and a guy voice.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah,
on top. And everyone got the bomber headgear with the cap, the goggles. And if you fell to your death or died, it would play a little, what's the word I'm looking for? The type of music.
I don't know, because I didn't do that, and if I had known I could do that, I would have done that.
Ragtime. Gosh, I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, it was like if you died, some ragtime style music played. It was hilarious.
I would have died.
I never died.
I kept
horrible.
diving off to fall to my death, and it was great.
Grilled Cheese was telling me too, when your character talked, it sounded old timey. But my character, of course, the only time she was silent was that day. She never said anything. How they have these little exclamations and stuff every once in a while. She never did that. So I was like, well, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it was hilarious though. But the negative comments that people were having was because there wasn't a way out of it. And
but it's just one day.
I know people were still miffed. Oh, I got to be stuck like this for a day.
Whole day.
Like,
it's just a day.
Yeah, whoopty crap. Then don't come back until the next day. Just chill out. It's for fun, and it was fun.
Okay,
I enjoyed
you know
it.
what? I think those people are just blessed with fantastic lives. If that's the biggest problem they have.
It's true.
So this was a thing this year, not necessarily in relation to this, but people seem to be really anti-April Fools. And, like, to me, it's one of the funnest days of the year, because I love seeing the weird stuff that people come up with.
I don't ever come up with anything. Like, I don't do the trickster thing, but, like, I like seeing, like, all the little April Fool stuff that you see, you know, come around. I'm sure we're going to talk about a few more that we found later on in the show when we get to some other topics. But yeah, like
I don't like mean-spirited April Fool's stuff, but like the gaggy stuff is, I think it's fine. But I think that the hate's coming from the fact that it seems like for the entire day you can't trust a single thing that you read online, but you shouldn't be trusting anything you read online too far anyway. So
you should kind of be verifying everything.
Yeah, I think like Massively OP did like a roundup of all the April Fool's jokes that were going around the MMO-sphere, I guess you'd say. That would be your source.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't actually get in and play on April 1st, but Braxwolf posted a video, and at first it was like, okay, this is cute. And then as it ran along, listening to the sound effect, I was just giggling. Like, I couldn't stop. It was hilarious to hear the little sound effect of the plane.
Oh my god, it was perfect for me because I was doing map completion, so I'm just, like, exploring. So it was, like, perfect.
Yeah, I loved it. Have you been playing anything else this week?
No.
That's about it? Jason, how about you?
I've been playing some Guild Wars, but that's same old, leveling up my Guardian. But also...
Are you enjoying the Guardian?
Yes, I am. So I was kind of debating... I kept flip-flopping between Thief, Necro, and Guardian as to what to make my next 80. And I think I'm just gravitating towards a Guardian because I like playing the melee options a little bit more since my other 80s are Engineer and Elementalist. So
okay, yeah,
I'm liking it. I mean, I'm only at level 30, so I'm just now getting into some more of the talents.
Sure.
But yeah, I went out and did some dub and also, I've been doing PvE besides that. But yeah, I like it so far. And it's my only Norn, so it's cool to have a Norn character.
Yeah, it is.
Because they have some of the coolest looking stuff.
They do.
I did finally see your character this week because, for those that don't know, our guild Circle of Trust, it was our 12-year anniversary this week. March 30th marks the 12th anniversary of the day we first created our first Circle of Trust guild. So about 7 or 8 of us got together on Guild Wars 2, formed up a group, and ran through some Caledon Forest, and we tried to do that that spiral jumping puzzle where you have to what was that called? What's that called?
I don't know what the jumping puzzle is called, but it's the one where you have to jump up the floating rocks and
it's like in a spiral, and then you have to climb over, and then we drop down.
It shakes when you get partway up,
and you drop down into this what would you call it? Like a canyon, but that's the only way into it, right?
Yes, there's a group of the Nightmare Court that a whole little area inside there. After you get through the jumping puzzle, you can go down into that, and there's another jumping puzzle in there.
There's a chest at the end of the one, and then there's a chest down in that canyon, and then Dean was with us, and he was like, no, there's another jumping puzzle off of this one, and we're like, what? And we got barely halfway into that one, and we kept falling to our deaths, and then it was just over. We didn't complete that. I'll probably go back and complete it now that I know it exists, but I had no idea that there was another jumping puzzle within that area.
They love their jumping puzzles.
I like doing the jumping puzzles.
I like them a lot, and I was really sucking that night. I couldn't.
You were grumpy about it, yeah.
I was not doing well at all. I was probably out platformered for the week because I've been playing a bunch of Mario, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, I was just not getting into it.
That's okay.
It's all right. Jason, what else have you been playing?
So the other day, I started going through some of my old PC games, and looking for one in particular.
Oh God!
And it was like the last batch of stuff I pulled out, and then it just fell out just miraculously out of this stack of CD-ROMs.
Like
and
slow motion.
That's how I felt, and Hallelujah played. But I found my PC copy of Night Trap, and I was so happy.
Oh my God!
He's got it running and everything.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass to get running because I had to use DOSBox and everything because it's from the mid to late 90s. I think the PC edition came out. So that took me a while, but I was determined.
But just so you guys know, he is going to play it and stream it. So we're going to do that as a Twitch stream someday soon.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'll go through and I'll try to mess around, and then I'll just... Because the game's not long. It's like 30 minutes. But
you don't have your notebook.
But it's hard. Yeah, you have to have all the times if you want to get a perfect run, because there is a perfect ending versus the other ones. So I might do a couple just kind of where I'm trying without looking at a guy, but then another one where I'd have to be pausing and looking at my guy.
To see if I can find you a Trapper Keeper so you can put all your notes in
That would be fantastic.
I had that when I was a kid. I wrote down all the times for myself, and now I went and found one online.
What was on the cover of your Trapper Keeper?
Was it like lasers or something?
Probably lasers.
Yeah, it wasn't dolphins or anything like that.
Tigers.
I'm disappointed that Trapper Keepers just don't exist anymore.
I love my Trapper Keeper. Remember, it had the ruler on the side, and it had the times table charts. I love the times table charts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel like modern kids are missing out for not having Trapper Keepers.
I want to find some, give them to my kids so they can start the new rebellion.
Oh, they'll be so happy.
Yeah, they won't get beat up or anything. That'll be great.
No, they'll be cool because they'll be retro.
Yeah.
So I played a bunch of it, and it's still so good.
You know what? Steve can't make fun of you at all because I saw on Steam he was playing this week.
You both saw.
I saw what you did. Your shame was public.
You did, sir.
You dirty, dirty boy. I saw what you were doing. I just like
that on one day I get called out by Jason, and on the next day I get called out by Shannon.
Well, yeah.
Do you receive messages?
We didn't even talk to each other about it.
Okay. You gotta fess up now. What were you playing?
Maybe it's because it was in Steam. I should try to get a downloadable version of that. Last week we played some APB for our after party.
APB Reloaded, yes. And
All Points Bulletin.
If you would like to hear me giggle very loudly for about 45 minutes straight, that's all you can hear through this whole YouTube thing that we did. I saved little clip. It was about a 2.5-hour run in APB Reloaded, and I clipped it down into just these little tiny memorable pieces. Did you guys see that? Probably didn't watch it.
Yes, I did.
Oh, did you? Okay, Dean watched it. Yeah. He said he laughed the whole time. So, but yeah, turn off.
Did it ever become a decent game?
We actually had a great time. I think it's because we had a whole group of people that we knew, kind of watching each other's back. And
if you have the right group in the right scenario, that game can be a ton of fun.
We played bumper cars for probably an hour.
Yeah,
we didn't do missions probably until the last half hour we were in there.
I was on there for at least an hour, and I logged off before you guys even started doing missions.
Oh, that's right. We only ran 3 or 4 missions, but yeah.
We had someone from the company jump into our stream and was answering questions for us.
Yeah, that was really cool. This guy Leo popped in, and he was answering everything, be really helpful. It was pretty cool.
But yeah, we did that, but then I kind of kept playing all week.
Okay. Go on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
You're in a place of love. On. You can share. Tell us.
How much cash shop stuff did you buy?
Nothing. I've been very
no, he's
tempted.
A cheap fuck. He would not buy anything.
That's very true. I've been tempted to pay $10 for the months of whatever the premium status is so that I can get my double XP. Because I'm... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have seen the movie or TV show. I like to reference the TV show.
Stuff.
This is a justification. Starsky and Hutch.
I'm familiar with the property.
Yeah.
Okay. I was kind of a fan of that when I was younger. The TV show, not the movie.
Okay.
All that, yeah.
But, okay, big fan. One of my absolute favorite cars is the 1974 Ford Gran Torino. And it's the car featured as the Zebra 1 in that series. And I really, really, really want to buy the muscle car in APB and then do a Zebra 1 Starsky and Hutch style paint job.
That would be pretty
really
cool.
bad.
You know,
that would be pretty cool, but I have to get leveled through one character, or I'm sorry, because you pledge to cops, and then whatever missions you do, the experience that you get will go towards that pledge, and then once you get past like level 10 on them, you get another one that opens up that you can then, and as you level up, you unlock other parts for cars or weapons or whatever that you can buy through the store. And I have to get through 10 on this one chick, and then I have to get to level 10 on the one that she unlocks before I can actually buy that car. And that's why I've been playing a lot. And because I think it's kind of fun. It's a game that I don't think is good. I don't think it's a great game, but it's a game that offers like weird and crazy fun moments on occasion.
It's unlike anything else, really.
Yes, exactly.
And I could tell that night, like, well, I know you love like racing games and stuff too, and you were having a ball being the driver because you were really good at being the driver.
True. Yeah,
I was terrible at being the driver.
I like driving around. Me and Jason were drifting and fishtailing like mad. But
I just ran.
Yeah, like even after that night, like a night or two after that, there was a moment that, and like you're not going to have this in any other MMO, that as you're driving around, you kind of open yourself up to jump into a mission. So it could just, like, as things happen in the game, you could suddenly be thrust into a mission. And so I'm just driving around, and then suddenly, boom, I'm grouped up with 3 other people, and it says, okay, go over here to guard the spot. Well, just so happens I'm driving top speed down the street right next to a criminal who was not in the same instance at me at the time. But right when we're crossing this bridge and the mission clicks on, I see his name turn to red, meaning that he's in the opposing side on this mission that just started up. So I think we just, at the exact same time, had the exact same reaction. And you see both of our cars go from just driving side by side to just slamming into each other, like out of nowhere. It was one of those hilarious moments that you can't have in any other game. And yeah, they're rarer than I would like, but they're still fun. So
my issue with the game. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, have you played Need for Speed Rivals?
No, I have not.
Similar. Anyway, so I've been playing it on the PlayStation 4, and it's a game of car thieves versus police, and you can choose to be either side, and it's got this whole thing where you're playing against other players from around the country, and you don't even know you're playing against them. What was cool is, like, you'll be driving along, and you'll happen to see a car thief ahead of you, and you flip on your sirens to initiate the chase, and then bam, it's on, and other players in your area are now part of your chase. So it sounds a lot like that.
That doesn't sound too bad. But then can you get out of the car and shoot them?
No, but how you capture them is you ram your car into it.
Oh, that's cool.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, you just smash the hell out of the other player, and you can like equip your.
Oh, go ahead.
You can equip your cruiser with like battering rams and EMPs and things like that.
As you're crashing into them, you're just yelling, "Okay, now get in the back seat."
Something like that.
I got you. Yeah, Jason asked if he could, if he should delete APB Reloaded or if we're going to play it again. I'm like, Dean is totally about playing it again. We had a really good time. I would leave it on the computer, and I would say we'll probably play it again as a group. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'm always going to be down for that. That's stupid fun.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it on.
I'd like to play it. My problem with playing it single player is I don't like stuff that has small team sizes, and partly because then I'm really exposed if I do something wrong. I like a little bit larger.
I will say the worst, probably the last time that I played, which was a couple nights ago. I have actually tried to kick the addiction. But the last time I played was probably one of the worst experiences I've had in the game. And it was because of that same thing. It was me versus one other person. And the mission took 15 minutes, and it was just me versus one other person. So you didn't have the bombastic nature of a bigger like 4-on-4 mission or something like that, or a 5-on-5. It was really dull and slow, and like you could tell at the end, like I had done well enough that the other person, there was really no way that they were gonna come back from it. So they just kept on. The last part of the mission was I had to take them out like 12 times, or they had to take me out. Yeah. So I had to kill them 12 times, and it was just taking forever. And it was like, okay, either kill them 12 times or we sit here and not do anything for like 15 more minutes. So they just kept on like spawning, running over to me and standing in front of me so I could kill them.
They were just
to get it done. It was like, God, that's
awful. Yeah, that's not fun for anybody. Poor guy.
No, so that's kind of
what keeps him from just logging out?
He could have just left, but I think that he then doesn't get the extra like points and cash and like the rank reward experience towards his pledge and all that stuff. So I think that's why that person just kept coming back, so they could at least get something out of it.
Gaia.
So that their time wasn't completely wasted. But let's move on from APB. Jason, have you been playing anything else other than, I guess it was back to me. You were playing Night Trap and Guild Wars. I was playing APB. I've been playing some Bloodborne. Have you been playing any more of that, Jason?
Yeah, I've been playing some, but not much.
How far are you?
I don't want to say. I still have to beat the first boss.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm not too far ahead of you. I'm on the second boss.
Yeah, I
still on the second.
I haven't had a ton of time to sit down and play. It's always been like 15, 20 minutes. So when I played Bloodborne, all I've been kind of doing is farming like the potions and stuff and putting them in the storage back at the haunted whatever. Just so that
dream.
Yeah, so when I make a push, I know I can have multiple runs of just going for the boss.
No, that's not a bad idea. It's actually probably what I should do for this guy that I'm on now, because I've thrown myself at him like 3 nights in a row and haven't got him. And like the last time that I did it, I didn't have. After I'd finished, I was like, oh, I don't have enough to go back at him at all. I'm gonna have to go farm a bunch of blood vials and all that stuff. So I put it off for a few nights. Been playing some other stuff. Got a new video card installed on my computer, etc. So I've been kind of sitting back at it. But yeah, I'm still really digging the game. But that's one, like you said, you were putting like 15 minutes at a time. And for me, if I don't have an hour to sit there at it, I'm probably not going to play.
Yeah, that's kind of like I've been playing a couple other little things when I only like besides that, just quick hit games.
Sure. Yeah. Well, cool. We can move on from that and talk about some other stuff, unless somebody's got some other games they want to bring up. I'm going to take that as a no. I am jealous. I'm very jealous of people in Michigan that will be up to no good playing some D&D this weekend, and I wish I could partake in this because Jason is DMing his first D&D session.
That's going to be a shit show.
It's tomorrow, and our D&D group, Round Robins, are hosting. So tomorrow we host our D&D group. So everyone comes over here, and then Jason's going to DM his very first D&D session, and it's awesome. We were talking to our main DM about it. You've met Mike. Belle, you haven't met Mike yet, but...
he's tall.
Yeah, he's very tall. I was talking to Mike about this, and I was like, what if we had like a freak of the week once in a while where one of us just steps up and we do a day, one of our sessions where the story it's a smaller story and it gets completely wrapped up by the end of the day, and it doesn't take away from our main story, but it's just kind of something we can do to give each of us a little perspective on what it's like to DM, and then get a little appreciation for all that he does. Gives him a break. He can pop in and play a character, and because he really likes playing characters, as well. And
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then we can kind of get a little break from the main serious story too. So yeah, it's gonna be. I'm pretty excited about it. I wish it wasn't the day before Easter because we have to be up, really early the next day, but it'll be fun.
This just sounds like open season to grief the hell out of the new DM.
Yeah. I'm going to lay out some ground rules, or maybe not rules, just kind of announcements before I start to try to keep everyone on track. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
We're going to play the D20 game, and you're going to lose it.
Oh, I don't care about that.
No, you're going to lose control, I mean.
Oh, I'm not so much worried about losing control. I mean, I kind of want some of that goofiness and kind of an aside, because my worry is, like, I have a quest line that has multi-stages and all that, but I'm worried that as a new DM, I'm not going to pace the timing right, and we're going to be done, like, super early.
And so... yeah, and what our group does too, if the DM's taking too long, we call the D20 game, and we all start rolling D20s, and the lowest number has to drink. But we don't, like, we do it super fast. We just keep rolling, and so the DM is then, like, has to rush to get, like, whatever it is set up and restarted to engage us again. Otherwise, we're going to be, like, tanked. And then if someone rolls a 20, though, everyone has to drink. So.
Yeah, I'll be fine with you guys being tanked, though, because that puts less pressure on me.
Okay.
I'm worried that no one's going to play, like, everyone's going to be like a good boy and girl tomorrow, and they're all going to be looking at me and like, okay, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going.
Okay, so you know what's going to happen. Like, this is what happens to every new DM. You have this whole thing laid out in your head of how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a door, and people just choose to go the other way.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out on the fly.
We did that to our DM last session, and he had this whole, like, plan about what we were doing, and we're like, no, we're going to run away. And he's like, what? We're going to run away. We ran away.
So here's the thing. I don't know how, like, I guess, okay, let me ask a question first. How much have you planned?
I've planned at least 3 fights and at least 2 or 3 like role-playing scenarios, interactions.
Okay. All right. See, like, the one time ever that I ever DM'd was in a game called Rifts. And it was back in high school. And I absolutely knew nothing of what I was doing. I had only ever played the game once before. But then some guy said, hey, we really want to play these characters. Would you mind trying to come up with a campaign? So I had no freaking clue what I was doing. So mostly I came up with a couple scenarios to, like, start the game off, and I ad-libbed most of it. I know that you personally can ad-lib shit good, so I kind of assume that you just run with it, and you'll kind of feel it out and go with it.
Yeah, I think it's more just going to be me getting, the trickiest part's going to be the very beginning and getting in the vibe of laying
what everybody's going to be.
Yeah, like, laying out what I need to lay out, letting people have their freedom, and then, stepping in at a point and saying, like, okay, now this happens. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And the DM who plays all the time is going to be, I've been asking him questions, and he's there to bail me out if I absolutely need it.
Yeah, I guess I remember kind of like counter to what Shannon was saying with their group just deciding to run away. I know in the campaign that I did, there was a guy who brought his character, and I kind of wanted. I didn't want to kill him off out of spite. I wanted to kill everyone's characters off, and I had this idea of, like, having them be reborn with these different abilities or whatever. And like he kind of tried to come up with, like, in the rules, like, this is why this guy didn't die or whatever. And so I basically just try to find different ways, like, no, you're trying to get out of this, but there's not going to be a way for you to get out of this. And then kind of said, no, fuck you. He still died. So
fuck yeah, you got him.
Killed his ass. Anyways,
the one thing
I wonder why you don't have anyone to play D&D with.
I don't know. But he was fine. He came back.
The one thing I always tried to do when I was DMing was just have a stack of disposable critters that you can throw at the player to kind of vary the difficulty. Because I used to do a lot of rifts, and it was a pain to build, enemies to throw at people. So I just kind of had this deck on note cards of things I could throw out if, they were being smart asses, or, if things weren't going, difficult enough, and I could kind of tweak it on the fly. That, here's a bunch more goblins, so take care of these.
I've thought of that too. I kind of have a reserve to, because that's another tricky part of never setting up a battle. I'm worried about my my balancing to where I have too much or too little. But I do have, like I have some backup plans for if things aren't strong enough for them.
Do you have a backup plan if you kill us?
No.
Because you're a freak of the week. You're not supposed to kill us.
No, I don't think I'm setting anything up that's going to be too difficult.
Okay.
The focus of I've tried to make an interesting kind of offbeat story, and that's where
because Darren likes to open doors. Like, if we're in a dungeon and there's like, we will be in battle, right? Like in the middle of a fight. But if there's a door, he will walk away from the battle and just open a door, and like more enemies will start pouring through that door because it was something the DM set up, that we were going to walk into next. But no, instead of that, we've got like double the amount of enemies on us. It's fun.
Then he sees another door.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll open all the doors. He loves opening.
Is he part of the house cat? I mean, because my cat's like,
he was born in a barn.
Doors.
He does own quite a few cats, so maybe that's part of it.
Jason, is that part of his sheet that it actually says that he was born in a barn?
Born in a barn, yeah.
He is a farmer, his character.
Yes,
anyway,
it's a fit.
It's going to be fun. So
it will be.
I'm jealous.
I want it to kind of start. It's going to be.
I would love to like stream that, like set up a webcam and stream it. Like I've seen other people do that. Like even though they're all in the same room, they'll stream like their tabletop session. But I don't think our group would go for it because I don't know. I think it would take away some of how open we are with our role play. I know even if just, certain people walk in the room, it throws us off a little bit. So I think having that camera on us would kind of freak us out a little.
That's easy. Just a nanny cam. Don't tell anybody.
Just lie. Don't tell them they're all on the internet.
Pay no attention to the teddy bear.
That's Belle's answer to everything. Just deceive people.
Exactly.
I heard aggro chat. They don't even know they're recording. They're just in TeamSpeak and like, what? We're not on a podcast.
Wait, we're doing a podcast? People listen to us? What's up with that?
Let's get into a little TV talk.
Okay.
Before we go on to what's in the show notes, I have a question for Jason.
Yes.
I know we've talked about it on the show before. Who's your favorite comic book character?
My favorite?
Yes.
I have two, really. As a kid, it was Spider-Man. And then when I got into an adult and reading a little bit more complex, it was DareDevil.
So are you excited about next Friday?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I am very excited. I've been rereading some of the Frank Miller runs. And,
he's been rewatching the trailers on Netflix so much.
Yeah. I've been rereading some of the other stuff. I really hope they nail it. I love that actor.
Yeah.
I like the showrunner. He did Spartacus, which I really liked. And some of these early reviews have hit, and I've kind of read some of them that don't have spoilers, and all the ones I've read are very positive that it's darker in tone. Which,
it looks like it is.
Yeah, and Daredevil is. And I think out of all the villains and heroes, my favorite dynamic in any comic was always Daredevil and Kingpin. And
the guy, and I can't pronounce his last name.
Vincent
the guy that's
D'Onofrio.
There you go. That's the one. I really, really like him as an actor. So I'm actually really happy that they got him for that role.
Yeah.
I think it could work out well.
And all the reviews have said he is like one of the best parts of the show.
That's fantastic. I love him. He's great. But we'll find out more about that next week. They say that it's premiering next Friday, but what time is that actually? Did they say what time of the day it's actually being posted?
I think Netflix typically puts them up at like, I want to say around midnight Central Western time. So it would be like 2 or 3 here in the Eastern. Yeah, you're in the Central. So like middle of the morning of that.
Oh wow.
Of Friday.
Well, good. So do you think you'll have some watched before we do the podcast?
I'm thinking at least 1 or 2. I don't plan on just sitting and watching all of them. Like I'm not taking any time off work, and I want to watch them with Shannon. I think the tricky thing is after a week trying to avoid all the spoilers. But yeah, I'll definitely will have watched at least 1 or 2 of them.
That's cool. So I look forward to talking about it. I want to check it out as well once that hits. So hopefully I'll be able to watch one before so that we can not necessarily talk spoilers, but we can talk about feelings of the show. But beyond that, you guys are all, I haven't seen after the stuff that I've been hearing on Twitter. I haven't heard anything read anything spoilery on Twitter yet about the latest Flash episode but the inclusion of Mark Hamill in the latest episode really makes me want to go through and watch all the episodes.
It's really, I liked it. It's interesting because the 90s Flash and this Flash has a very different tone.
But
Totally.
the really cool thing was, like, he was the trickster in that series, and then the guy that's playing the actor that's playing the dad was the Flash in that series as well. So this episode was kind of awesome that you had the 90s trickster and the 90s Flash in the same episode in this version of it.
And Mark Hamill is totally playing that 90s version of trickster in this.
So great.
Completely over the top. There's a lot of inside jokes. There's one really on the nose Star Wars joke. But I liked it.
That's cool. Belle, have you been watching any superhero television shows, whether it be Flash or Arrow or anything else?
I am notoriously bad about watching television, but I have been kind of working my way through this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm way behind in that. I've also been trying to catch up on Gotham, but I tend to watch on the weekend, and I'll watch 4 or 5 episodes in a row, and I haven't had much time to do that lately. Pretty much the only show that I watch religiously on a week-to-week basis is Walking Dead, and it's just because there's a bunch of people at work that talk about it, and that's kind of our water cooler show.
I didn't realize that is the number one show across any network right now.
Everything, yeah.
And it's an AMC show. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And I have people at work watching it that I never would have expected that they would be into that sort of thing. They're not really geeky type people, but yeah, it's crazy. It's got a broad appeal that I've not seen in a TV show in a while, especially for a sci-fi horror type show.
Yeah,
right. Well, you mentioned. Go ahead.
I was going to say the big thing with that one is it stopped really being about the zombies a long time ago. It's more about just this group of people surviving.
Yeah. Like the interpersonal dynamics and stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned
sometimes I think maybe we're the real monsters, right, guys?
Oh my gosh.
You mentioned Gotham in there, though. But Jason, did you ever go back and watch any of that?
No, I was out of that first episode. I was done.
Tagged out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
I thought it was good.
And I've heard from some people that it gets better. That first episode just threw me off so much. It was so just blatant about dropping all these crazy cameos, and when they showed Poison Ivy as a kid, I was like, oh, okay, I don't. Maybe this isn't for me. It might be one of those things where I might go back and binge watch them if I hear it's getting better, and I think it's already renewed for a second season.
Yeah, I've heard. I've been surprised. People that can't stomach Smallville and Arrow and Flash, and that really like Gotham. So it could be worth watching. It could be cool.
Yeah.
I love Arrow. I haven't watched Flash, but I thought Gotham was pretty good, and it got better over time. The problem is they keep introducing characters and removing them, and introducing characters and removing them, and I'm just waiting for it to reach a point of equilibrium where you actually have, this is the cast that we are now going to see on a regular basis.
I get the impression they're throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, that's what didn't appeal to me.
Like spaghetti.
Well,
man?
or they'll introduce a really cool character, and then they're just gone the next episode, and it's like, okay, why did you even bother setting that up?
Yeah. 4 more episodes from now, you'll figure it out. It'll be this crazy, well-written thing.
That's because that's how you check spaghetti. See if it's done.
Yeah, throw it against the wall.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Because he's spaghetti man.
Spaghetti and meatloaf. That's how you test
sticks.
it. Throw it against the wall.
And Kool-Aid.
Did you know everything is Star Wars?
Shannon!
What?
What is Star Wars?
Everything. Everything is Star Wars. The new trailer.
Star Wars.
Huh?
Even the Avengers are Star Wars.
Yeah, because the new trailer will premiere before the Avengers Age of Ultron. So, bam. Enjoy some Star Wars and Avengers.
Those are both Disney properties, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep. Now they are. Yeah.
Waiting for the crossover.
Well, and I keep waiting for the reboot of Marvel that will basically remove mutants from existence so that, they can license all their characters.
Yeah.
And depending on how the Spider-Man thing goes, maybe they'll be able to license
Play
them.
nice together.
It's just tragic how badly they dealt with licensing their properties and created all these little cut-up universes.
They almost had no choice. They were about to go bankrupt back then.
Yeah, it was out of necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they finally got their shit together, and were able to, and I'm sure they regret it every day.
What you gonna do? So, what else in the new... Where can you go?
Well, you can go to other two sun planets, like Tatooine. Scientists believe that Star Wars two sun planets can actually exist.
What?
Which I had heard that they had already found a two sun planet like a long time ago.
Like 6 months ago. Or
yeah, but like it's hit the news again.
Just see the guy like writing up the story after he hears it. Yeah, I heard they can exist. Yeah, scientists say so.
Yeah.
I'm a scientist. I say so.
Man, so speaking of Star Wars writing, did you see the? It was a tweet that was floating around that was like a screenshot of a letter from actor that played Obi-Wan Kenobi, Alec Guinness, to one of his friends during the filming of Star Wars, talking about what a horrible script it was and how the lines for Obi-Wan were so horrible. And,
yeah.
But that he found some of the actors entertaining. It was this crazy thing.
Yeah, it's pretty public knowledge that he kind of despised the movies or looked down upon them. Especially, I don't, maybe when he did his last one for Jedi, but yeah, especially in the beginning. I mean, he was a super famous like Shakespearean actor, so
yeah, he really didn't like being recognized as that role.
Well, too bad.
And now he's dead, so we win.
I'm sure he had fun cashing the checks. Just saying.
Yeah. He's probably glad that he didn't live long enough to have to go to like Comic-Cons and stuff and talk about it.
Oh God, yeah.
He probably wouldn't have done that, but I have nothing else to add to that, I guess.
Nah.
Don't care.
There are some trading cards now available.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they're not physical.
Are you serious? Oh no, it's an app in the Apple Store. Yeah, it's like vintage cards released by Topps, like around the time of the original movies, are being released in digital format. So, yeah, it's by the trading company Topps, and then Disney, is obviously involved because it's Star Wars. So they're going to let you rebuild your collection of digital cards using a credit system. Yeah. And
so I can take my iPad around and show everybody my collection.
Yeah.
Look at this picture of what I've got, guys.
And you can trade them, I guess. There are different packs always available. Trade them?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if you can. I have no idea if you can. Oh, that would be cool. But no, there are different packs always available in the app that contain different number of cards.
So you could always give them money, probably.
Oh, you know what? They have varying probabilities on the rare cards,
They like money.
Yeah.
Give us some
Honestly,
money. Let's say these pictures.
Topps probably needs money desperately at this point.
The bundles range from anywhere from 99 cents to $99.99.
But you know what? That 99 one is probably the best value.
It probably is the best value. It probably says so with a little gold star next to it that it's the best value.
No, it's good.
I'm going to get a shirt that has that on it.
Yeah.
Best value.
Best value.
Each card is a digital photo with a border that can be taped in the application to flip the card over for a short description and to see how many cards have been issued by Topps.
Wow.
Ah, man.
I don't understand this at all.
No.
I know what I'm getting you for your birthday.
Okay.
I love the headline in this, whatever, I don't know if this is the actual article, expands to addictive digital trading cards.
Yeah. It almost sounds sarcastic, like, right away.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember as a kid, I had tons of these trading cards, but, like, that was a different era and a different time.
Yeah, I love me some Garbage Pail Kids.
I wouldn't mind, if they actually sold these as trading cards in the store, that would totally be something that I could get on board with. But I can't get on board with, like, a digital...
It's too lazy.
Yeah. Like, I've been buying my son Pokemon cards and stuff, but he can play a game with those. But even just, like, collectible cards like this, I used to do, like you said, the Garbage Pail Kids and stuff like that when you were little. Everyone had collected some sort of card back then. But
this reminds me of... Earlier in the week, I had, like, a survey from some game company wanting to know what my experience playing this game was. and their bonus reward for taking the survey was a wallpaper. And every time I've seen some bonus, every time I've seen a bonus like that, I think to myself, do you not realize I have Google image search?
Wow.
Yeah, that seems really ancient, outdated.
It's a lazy
that
reward.
Is the laziest thing I've ever heard.
Like that just takes like that. When you say that, it makes me remember like getting 1,000 free hours of AOL.
Oh yeah, remember those CDs that like came in the mail, like so you could have like free AOL hours? Those were hilarious. No one knows what I'm talking about. I can.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, I absolutely know what you're talking about.
On AOL.
I was a prodigy.
Every
man.
so often,
I had Prodigy.
every so often, I will go to like junk and garage sales and things like that, and I will still see people trying to sell those stupid AOL
Oh
discs.
my
like
god!
Like there's something real.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
Weirdest thing I've seen
Charge
in
the internet by the hour. I mean, how would you even function today?
Weirdest thing I've ever come across in one of those, junk stores is someone was trying to sell 20 table legs.
What?
It was just this box of table legs. And they were very specific. They were very specific table legs. Like they screwed on.
I want to hear that none of the table legs matched, so they were all varying heights.
Well, they're like 2 or 3 different sets in there, but like, why do they have these table legs just sitting around? What happened to the tabletops?
What's the story here? Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Needed some firewood.
I want to know, when you buy these apps of these trading cards, how do you get the crappy gum?
You like the screen.
And even better, the gum stain on the back of one of the cards.
Yeah, and remember it was like always really chalky and like almost crumbly before you could get it to chew. It was awful.
Yeah, last time I actually bought Garbage Pail Kid cards, oddly enough, that Jason already brought this up, I think it was 1996. And it was well after Garbage Pail Kids had already been like done and gone.
A long time,
yeah.
Well gone.
I was in a sports memorabilia store, and up at the front of the store they had a box of there was 25-cent packs of baseball, hockey, basketball cards, all random stuff. And I'm digging through this box, and there were Garbage Pail Kid packs.
I would buy one.
I bought, I think, 10. I was every one that they had in there. I was like, well, fuck yeah, Garbage Pail Kids. I love these things. So I dug through and I bought every single one that they had. And it was only a handful of dollars for all these packs. And I was ecstatic about it. So I go down a few doors down. My dad is down at this music store. So I go down there and I'm sitting at the counter because my dad played drums all of his life, still does on occasion. And he was down there talking to the guy that ran the place. And he's up at the counter. I sit down on one of the stools and I'm opening up these packs and checking it out. And my dad goes to grab one of the packs or one of the sticks of gum. And I go, that's probably super old. And he was like, I wonder if it's still good. So he throws one in his mouth, and as he's throwing his mouth, I turned the thing over, and it said it was from 1980 something. I can't remember the exact year.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I don't think it's going to be very good. This is 10-year-old gum, dude. And as soon as I say that, I look up at him, and he's... Well, I didn't, I don't think, but...
Oh, okay.
But he's I just see his face turn, and he just spit it out on the floor. It just turned to dust in his mouth, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that would have been disgusting. Oh, that's a good story, though.
It's my tie-in. But yeah, I think we'll probably end the show with that, unless you want to hear me talk about Furious 7 before we go. But
why don't we save that for the after show?
We can.
Okay. Everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for joining us, Belghast. If you guys want to experience the Bell effect, be sure to follow him on Twitter at Belghast, right? It's just simple. Belghast. And he often tweets his daily blog that he posts. You tweet about your shows and stuff. So you can catch all of the Bell Effect really in one place by following him on Twitter.
You need to get belleffect.com now.
No, I
he's got Belghast.com. Yeah, you do have a lot of websites to coordinate all of your projects.
Not only do I have Belghast.com, I have belgha.st. because I was going to make my own URL shortener, and I got lazy.
That's awesome.
But you need to have like belghast.com/Bell Effect, and it's just like some trippy rave music and like a picture of your face zooming in and out of the screen.
Just kind of twirling.
That's amazing. I need glow sticks.
Yes. Just floating in the corners for no reason. Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be great if you can get away with just doing the strong band.
Hey, look, they're not updating it anymore. We can co-opt that, can't
And then
we?
every 10 seconds, just have the words, like, flash on the screen, play Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
That would be hilarious. Let's see.
Final Fantasy.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go! All the plants are going to die.
Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.
This podcast is part of the Game and Entertainment Network. Visit TGEnetwork.net to find the latest episodes from all our shows.